Hey again, everybody. I'm making this live stream rather because there was discussion about the May 8th Community and Economic Development Agency meeting, the City of Oakland, and comments that were made both by Oakland District 5 Councilman Gallo and others, John Jones and Mike Hutchinson. For those of you who don't know, you're watching this and you're probably in Bangladesh or Paris, wherever, or Mongolia or Zambia or anyway. Uh, the city of Oakland has a parcel at Derby Avenue, and that is, and Derby Avenue is part of a disposition and development agreement to sell for the creation of a charter school. This, as the Oakland public schools are in a financial crisis, having to close schools, cut back classes, and do what's called reduction in force. So a number of people were very upset that the city of Oakland is encouraging the creation of charter schools when its own public organization needs money, needs to be developed, and is in trouble. This actually was approved by this committee, it hasn't gone to council yet. This process, this meeting, this hearing that attracted a number of people to attend it, is exemplary of the controversy. I want you to hear comments because they haven't been posted by the city for wide distribution at all. The city doesn't use YouTube, it doesn't tag its videos so you can find them. It doesn't easily allow you to find out what was said at a particular point in time and who said it, right? Take a look. Here I'm presenting this to you. Take a look. This is what the comments were. This is the comment period from May 8th.
Sharice Kimby Kim, Jana Olger, Ernest
I'll move forward a little bit more.
Joshua
Okay.
Watson, Marsala Del Record.
This is James Van.
Oakland resident.
Nothing else.
I'm not an education activist. However, at the postal one on Sunday, this item was discussed. I've also spoken with some members of the school board and some other community members. There's also within the city discussion going on about public land and what that policy is going to be. In other words, there's a lot of confusion around this proposal. And the postal law on Sunday recommended, and they're proposing to the city, that there be a moratorium on the sale or lease of all city property until there is a policy. So we think this item should be set aside. It's just, there's too much confusion, too much going on, and this is not the time to move forward on this.
This is Mike Hutchinson.
Mike Hutchinson, proud graduate of Oakland Public Schools, a member of the Journey for Justice National Alliance, and we stand in solidarity with both the National NAACP and Black Lives Matter in calling for a moratorium on charter schools. Charter schools aren't public schools, and especially in Oakland, where we have the highest rated charter schools in the state of California, charter schools are in direct competition with our public schools. For every student that goes to charter school, that ADA, that money, doesn't come to our public schools, it goes to charter schools. If they build a 625 student school, that's roughly $7 million a year that's going to be drained from our public schools. I just went by the parcel today and looked at it. It's basically a one-lane street with no parking on a dead-end street. Not only is it going to disrupt that neighborhood, but it's 1 block away from International, the corridor you were just speaking about, and 1 block away from Fruitvale. It's going to back up the whole neighborhood. But the biggest impact's going to be that it is 2 blocks away from the Cesar Chavez campus, that both the city council and our school district have spent tens of millions of dollars to build. This will destroy that school. This will drain, and I think I have time seated.
This is
this will create a direct drain on that neighborhood public elementary school. And there's actually 2 elementary schools on this campus. Where are they going to get these 625 students from other than to pull them away from our public schools? That's what's been happening. And just with the discussion before, when we talk about equity in Oakland, of our over 40 charter schools, there's only 2 or 3 of those schools that are above 580. All of the charter schools in Oakland have been put below 580 in low-income communities of color. We know in Oakland that if charter schools were better, the families in the hills would be demanding charter schools. Instead, the opposite has happened. This project would not be happening above 580. Now, I only found out about this last week, and I'm pretty plugged into what's happening in education. That means the community doesn't know either. You are going to be on for a huge fight. You think the East 12 parcel was something? That was a vacant parcel that didn't affect our schools. Lastly, public land should be for public good. Not only is this not public good, this actually causes direct public harm to the surrounding community that will not be served from this school because they can bring in students from all across the city. So there's one neighborhood that's going to pay the extreme cost. It's the neighborhood that a lot of us have worked decades to try to improve. Please vote against this. And charter schools are not public schools. Support our public schools, not the outsiders coming in.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
You could go in any order.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair, members of the council. My name is Kimmy Keene, and I have proudly served as a public educator in Oakland for the last 18 years, including 14 years in Oakland Unified School District. I actually went to junior high school with Mr. Hutchinson, but I was not a proud graduate. I was a dropout. And so I work in charter schools now to create greater opportunity for all of our communities here in Oakland, and I'm proud to do so. Aspire Edis is a public school that proudly serves 220 students on Cortland Avenue near Fremont High School. At Edis, 90% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch, 10% are served in special education, and 100% are on a road to college for certain. Through a state facilities grant and philanthropy, we're investing about $30 million to build the school our community deserves. We are currently in a very cramped, dated facility. We endure lots of maintenance challenges and floods on an ongoing basis. And if you look at the young people here in the audience, they deserve the best. We've pursued district facilities through Prop 39 and have been made offers.
Do you have someone to cede time to you?
That are not adequate for our community. No.
Madam Chair, if I can just ask the speaker a clarification, and so are you saying that the charter application in front of us is not a new charter school? This is for an existing charter to locate to new facilities?
That's correct.
That just wasn't called out really clearly in the report, so that's all I needed.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's correct.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Jenna Ogier, and I'm the proud principal of Edis Academy. We believe in granting all students access to a college education, and yes, we've been in the Fruitvale area for the past 10 years on Cortland Avenue. Our founding families and staff created our name around our school values. We're Edis, we're E for education, R for responsibility, E for empowerment.
I'm going to stop that. I'm going to fast forward because they represent the same organization with a similar message. So I want to fast forward to some community people who made a present comments, and you can hear what they have to say as well. Because this is an extensive list of speakers, and I realized that I could go quite a while. And frankly speaking, I don't have that kind of time right now. All right. So here's John Jones, by the way. Okay.
Parents,
Here.
the community. So we like that building. If you help us to build that building, we appreciate it. We know it's hard for a public school, but it's hard for us to help them.
That's not John Jones, by the way.
In another school because they're already in there. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
For the record, John Jones III and Madam City Clerk, my colleague Ndidi is ceding her time to me. I just want to make a few points. First of all, I want to start with the young people here. You know, it warms my heart to see young people engaged, speaking passionately about things that's near and dear to their heart, as well as participating in democracy. So I'm definitely happy to see them here, and I want to clap them up for them. with this being said, I think it's very important that we don't fall for the tricks. What I mean by that is this does not have to be a divisive, competitive issue. First and foremost, I care about education. I have a 10th grade son that goes to Oakland Tech. I went to Oakland Public Schools. I want to share with the young people what we need in Oakland and the many avenues of work that I do in this city. I submit to you, education will not be enough. I skipped from the 1st to 3rd grade. By the time I was in 6th grade, I won every academic achievement you can get. And 5 years later, I ended up being arrested and tried as an adult. We need more in this city. One of the things we need is housing. We have to stop talking about what we're going to do and really focus that. We have a parcel of land that belongs to the people, right? And I'm seeing these, what they call them, are these slave sheds, or excuse me, tough sheds, slave cabins being constructed for people. Let's be real about this. We have an opportunity to make sure that residents in Oakland have housing. For the last 5 years, since I paroled from prison, I spent half of that time unsheltered, sleeping on couches, sleeping in cars, sleeping in shady motels. Why are we not, and even with the earlier presentation, it said there is a pipeline of affordable housing. It's not under construction, it's a pipeline coming soon near you. And I even submit to you, even some of these students, what's to say if your parent, if you get evicted, where are you going to go, right? The last thing I would say is this. We have been funding so many educational efforts here in Oakland. Measure in 2014, and even now, there's this parcel tax that's on the ballot. Let them talk to OUSD. They also own public land. Let's be more creative about this. It don't have to be either or. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Christopher Grant. I am representing Pacific West Communities here. We are the applicant. I wanted to provide you the opportunity to ask me any questions as I'm here today. Pacific West Communities has currently 700 and change number of affordable housing units in our pipeline, represents just over 40% of the current 1,800 units that are in process for review and design in the city of Oakland. One of our parallel core values is also education, because a place to live and a place to further your own improvements represent how the next generation become established and founded in a community. And so that represents an understanding of why we come here today in seeking endorsement of transfer this land, because they're both together. Really, we're passionate about affordable housing, but also schools and education is a valued element of that. And so we appreciate your time, and I'm available for any questions or comments you have. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Davis, and Shauna Armstrong was here and had to leave, so she asked if I would speak for her as well.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I'm a parent.
So just for the record, I'm sorry, you can only.
I was like, because there's a lot more speakers, actually a couple, but I want to get to a place where, yeah, here it is. Councilmember Noel Gallo weighed in a way that I think is controversial. Okay. Is this it? Let me see.
Of you for being here.
Here we go, right here. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me move this back just a little bit. Right there. Okay.
The history and motivations of developing charter schools. Because I, like many people here, do not believe that charter schools are public schools. They get public money. They're harmful to the process, for the school district in that process. They are privately run.
Thank you very much. Your time
And
has
that's what we need to understand, that they are privately run. They are not run by the public.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any more speakers today?
No, I called all names.
Thank you. Councilmember Gallo.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being here. Certainly, I know all of you on both sides of the issue, and we're going to agree on some issues and we're going to disagree on others. And growing up here in the city of Oakland, I know Oakland, especially Oakland Unified, extremely more than all of you sitting in this room. And if you want to really look to see how well Oakland Unified is doing today, Mr. Michael, look at the results from the state in terms of evaluation of our high schools, because they're all in the red. The state is, why? Academically, Attendance-wise, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Because you're an example why we have a charter school. The reality is when you talk about race and equity, why do you think we created the first charter school? I helped do it. And you know why? Because my kids couldn't walk from Lazier School, from Jingletown to Roosevelt Junior High School without being beat up, assaulted, and couldn't even receive a decent, and you can laugh all you want, because that's what my community's been treated. Wait a minute. Look at our student body today. You want to talk Oakland Unified? Look at San Leandro High School. Oh, it's Oakland students attending San Leandro. Encinal High School, they were going through the tube to get to Alameda from West Oakland. Look at Emerville, 80% is Oakland kids, not just charter kids. Oakland, why are the families like mine choosing to do other things? Because I want to protect my children. I can't wait for Oakland Unified to get its act together, because you see what condition they're in today? You look at Fremont High School, where we all grew up in, had 2,000 kids. What do you have now, 500? Well, really, so why did the families all choose to leave? Because it's such a great school. When I helped pass a bond, went to the voter to invest $120 million to rebuild the school, but the school district chose to do other things, and we're only going to give it $40 million. Oh, but let me explain to you before, where is our black student body today? No, I'm not going to argue with you. I'll listen to all what you had to say. Or let me speak to the issue. So the reality is why we have charter schools today. You can shake all your head you want to. People are making a choice, and the parcel that we're talking about, how many of you have been to the parcel? And seen, hold on. How many of you have been to the parcel? We've been at this process for 4 years. It's a small parcel in between two private lands across the street. The green area across the street, the reason that green area is now designated to the Native American Health Center is because I pushed it to make sure that the Native American had a role in housing, because they already have it next door. And that's what we're going to have 80 units on that lot. Across the street, the Goodwill store is negotiating with us to create additional parking, not just for the school, but for the medical building that exists. Bill Pool, next to the Ghost Ship property, there's a big parking lot that we're establishing an agreement with. So the
I have to ask members of the public I want you to finish. Excuse me, members of the public who cannot remain quiet while the council members are speaking will have to leave the room.
So for me, it's really important, because we've been at this, we've been through the planners, we've been through the inspectors, we've been through the planning commission, and I knew when this school started over next to Fremont High School, but you demonstrated that academically we can get places, you distinguish schools, and so I am going to support this initiative, because we spent years and years trying to make this happen, and I completely support this effort, members of the council, because before we made a move in this direction, that property was an illegal dumping site for years that we had to clean. I didn't see nobody else going to clean it, that we had to clean it, and this was an investment for this city. And what greater investment can you make than to educate and serve our children? And that's why I support this initiative.
Thank you, Mr. Gallo.
Jeez. He pissed off some people, boy. I think Noel kind of went off with the mouth there. He definitely ran off with the mouth.
Would you like to make a motion?
It was really.
There is a motion. Councilmember Gibson McElhaney. There is a second by Councilmember Gibson McElhaney. By consensus, the item passes.
This will
Wow.
be noted on the May 15th as a public hearing.
You giving me a crack. Oh, you give a lot of crack.
Listen to Noel.
Are there any more items? There
It's item 7, the last item on the agenda.
Councilmember Guy, we
Item
need to
7,
remain
sorry.
for item 7,
Can we
please.
get order in here so we can move on with the rest of the agenda, please? Keep your conversation to a low so we can. We're moving to the last item. We're moving to the last item on the agenda.
Okay. Noel came off as, let me put it this way. Noel came off as pugilistic, combative, and racist. Okay? Because he implied that he's, where's the black student body? Where's the black student body? Where's, my kids are getting beat up. Okay. And, well, he didn't come off, he came off as when I say borderline race, I mean, he didn't take the next step, fortunately, but he was headed in that direction, and that was bad enough right there. But what was worse is when he got up after he wanted to pick a fight. Hey, John Marks, how you doing? Hey, I'll be back. I have to go downstairs, take care of some things. I wanted to get this up and out and recorded because this is a big issue in Oakland right now. And one of the council members saying, you're not paying attention enough to meetings. And I thought, okay, well, I'll take a look. And I did. And yeah. Tonight, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific, Oakland mayoral candidate Cat Books will be on, okay? I gotta go. I'll see you all later. Want to find out what's going on here? Roll back to the beginning. Wait for it. This to finish, okay? What else? No Gaia. What's going on, man? Got some splaining to do. Fighting the good fight, but sometimes he wants to fight other people. Come on, put up your dude. That's how he was like, I expect him to go out there. You. Oh boy, not a good look. All right, see you guys.